I have an amazing life-stealing, sort of self-replenishing, but heavy-hitting build for Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I beat the whole game with this. So we'll go over the skill tree, we'll go over all your amulets, we'll go over your benediction, we'll go over your spells, and we'll even go over your temperance. So let's jump right in. Now let's start with the easy stuff, and we're going to start with our weapon, and for this we are using the Lashing Whip. And on the Lashing Whip we have put block on it, or sword counter, whatever you want to call it. One of, in my opinion, the biggest skills in the game. The sort of counterattacks you can land on this, on bosses, on normal enemies, are just phenomenal. If we go over our benediction, in our oath block we have Boo, blocking, clash. Again, blocks and the counterattacks are phenomenal. This is a must-have in my opinion. For memory, we're already starting our life stealing here with lethal rejuvenation. Defeating an enemy restores some health. And in wisdom, way, combo force, consecutive attacks increase your damage. For temperance, you will see we have 4 slots unlocked. We will be going over the skill tree and I will show you exactly this. But we have Leech in our bow needle spot. Leech is incredible. Essentially what this means is every time you hit an enemy, you will leech health from them. And we're going to have enough temperance slots that we can do this constantly to get through areas. This is super useful for boss fights or incredibly useful for exploration. We're pairing this with the Tangent Acupoint for the Shadowstone Needle, so this will tack into your slightly increase your strength control of the weapon you're using. We've got the Everlight Stone Needle, so this will increase the duration of tempering. The longer tempering the last, the more you can leech enemies. And we're using the Plumed Stone Needle to stimulate your meridians to increase the attack power gain from tempering. So our tempering now lasts longer, we can leech health on every hit, we increase the strength, and we increase the duration. For amulets, obviously the biggest one we are using is the Lifesteal Pendant, recover health upon defeating enemies. We're using the London Pendant, reduces damage taken but increases stamina costs. And the Twin Infant Pendant increases your stamina recovery speed. These two pair very nicely together. Yes, you use more stamina but you take less damage, but we regen that stamina quicker. And when paired with something like the Crimson Lantern Fruit, reduces stamina costs for an extended period of time, you can really pump out those attacks. You can pump out your Skyborn Might with your Lash Whip, heal, just constantly sort of heal through enemy attacks. It's incredible. For spells, I would also recommend Divine Ward, Separated Divine, reducing your damage taken for a time, and Ethereal Form, Merge with the Void to evade attacks, gaining invisibility, and Skyborn Might, 2 very incredible spells to tank yourself up further. When it comes to armor, honestly, this will really depend on what you are facing. For example, the Embroidered Armor and the Pirate Armor are phenomenal against bosses that do like stabbing damage. But if you're against a boss that deals fire damage, then obviously you're going to want something with some burn resistance, as well as some fire resistance. So for example, the God Guard's Shoulders are even better. So pick and choose your armor based on the enemy type you're fighting. Okay, let's go over our skill tree. Now you can see we are level, I believe 104. Level 104. So, in my opinion, at the start of the game you're going to want to come to the bottom left, sort of, what would this be, 7, 8ish? And we are going to come straight down with our first few levels until we get to Wind Force. This will mean for 1 stack of Skyborn Might we can quickly do heavy strikes. Now this works with the charged R2, and it will also make your Lashing Whip, actual whip attack, quicker as well. Once you have that, we are going to come to the left, we're going to take the Vitality upgrade, and then we're going to start our Long Sword Mastery. Now our Long Sword is a plus 10, we have gotten every upgrade throughout the course of our first playthrough, so as you're doing these, just make sure you take them and you pop the feathers where you need them. You'll see all the slots around, so yeah, just make sure you upgrade this as much as you can. Once you have this strong blade, I would recommend coming back to the Vitality, coming south, going to the left, and then taking Sword Counter. Again, this is incredible for deflecting enemy attacks, and with your next 2 levels, take Sword Counter Variant 2 and Sword Counter Variant 1. This will allow you to not only sort of push an enemy back slightly when you deflect, but also you can land a huge counterattack like that, and these stabbing counterattacks do incredible damage, especially if you pair it with the pendant. For example, if you're in a boss fight, you don't need the lifesteal pendant because there's only one enemy. If you swap it for the pendant that increases your stab attack power, these counterattacks can pump out damage. Now once you've got those levels sorted, I would recommend coming back to the middle and going to the left. And we're going to go left once more to Skyborn Cool. This will now mean you can have 2 stacks of Skyborn Might. And then with your next levels, we're going to get our mask upgrades. Now to upgrade these, you do need Lost Remembrances and Forgotten Remembrances, or Lost Remains and Forgotten Remembrances, sorry. Now for these, you find these throughout the course of the game. Once you've got them unlocked, you can come back to these at any point and, put your resources in. I would then recommend coming here for Swift Resilience, and then unlocking the Vitality +5, unlocking your next flask upgrades for when you need them. Now from here, we are at Sword Counter. I would recommend coming to the right, and just filling in the Strength node here. Come back up, and then with your next few levels, you're going to come back down south and go 1, 2, 3 to get to Sword Savant. The third attack of a long sword light attack gains a Clash. Now Clash is a really cool mechanic in the game that means you can sort of power yourself through some damage. Really awesome skill to have. I'd then recommend going 1 over for the Vitality +1, back to Sword Savant, south, and then to the left for the Vitality +5, really boosting your health pool. Once you have this for your next few, I would come back to your Vitality up here, go left 1, left 2 to get to Imperatus Repository Description, and then come south for the Endurance +1, for the Fury of the Skyborn, which we don't really need, but what we do need is the Leech Bone Needle you can find here to the bottom right, and now our build is slowly starting to come together. Once you have that, I would venture back into your longsword skill tree and start filling out some of this going south. So just keep going south, take the Strength +5 when you get there, and fill all of this section in. At this point, if you do have the feathers, you could start filling in your strong blade here, and that will open up this side here. If not, back to the middle, go 1 over for the endurance, and then I would personally leave this one. If you have the feathers, once you've filled in the strong blade here, take the middle one, and then you can unlock these skills here. Reason I say this is, the endurance +1 is awesome. Swordmaster, so the 5th attack of a longsword light attack grants 2 stacks of Skyborn Might. This is awesome in a boss fight. So if you can land that 5th attack, you gain 2 Skyborn Might, that is 2 quick charged R2s. Come north for the Strength +1 and the Strength +1, back to Swordmaster, and then down and right, picking up 6 Endurance in total. Once you have filled that out, the next path we will be working on is the Spear path. Now we won't be using a spear, but we do want all the added benefits that come with this, such as the Strength, the Vitality. Now, once we've started filling out the longsword path, I would personally recommend coming over here. We're going to take the +1 to Vitality here. We're going to go over here for Energetic. We're going to go left again for the Vitality +1, and this is where we'll go up and down. Get the Temperance Charge +1, and unlock a new Acupoint on our Temperance. And I would honestly push this tree as far as you can. So left again for Skyborn Core 2. Left again for the Vitality, and then unlock the Temperance Charge +1. At this point you'll now have 3 Temperance Charges. Now from here, as you can see, we've got the Leech down here already, and I would personally come over here, and now I would start working on the Spear tree. So we're going down to Spear, and we're going to come down to Emboldering Spear. Again, we don't need these, we're not using a spear. But we'd come right for the Strength +5. South for 2 Strength +1s, again for a Vitality +1, to the right for a Strength +1, and then down for a Strength +1 again. Now at this point you've sort of got 2 options you can do. I would personally continue south. Gain a Strength +1, the Strength +1, and then to the right for the Vitality +5. Back to Strength, south again for another 2 Strength +1s, and then to the right for a Strength +2. Now once you've got that locked in, I would come back over to your skill tree over here, and I would keep pushing this further to the left, unlocking the Endurance. We now have the Temperance Charges ready, or not Temperance Charges, sorry, the Mana Flask now open, so if we get the upgrades we can upgrade these. Push it left again for Skyborn Core 3, left again for the Vitality, to the Endurance, and then south for another Acupoint Temperance. Now you might not have the chisel for this yet. If you do, take this. If you don't, just keep pushing left until eventually you have all this unlocked. And then when you get the chisel, you can unlock this whenever you have it. From there, we're going to come back to the spear path. Come back to this little node here. Now you'll remember we have all this filled out. From here we are going to come left, gain the strength, down for the vitality, down for the strength again, and then to the left for the agility +5. You'll notice if we come to the lashing whip, in my equipment, it does scale with agility and strength. So if we go back to our skill tree, we'll go back to our repository, and back into the middle here. We are at the agility. I'd recommend coming left, vitality +1, endurance +1, strength +1, and then endurance +1. Because of the equipment we are using and how much we want to attack, our endurance does deplete very quickly, so as much stamina as possible is always handy. Back to the agility +5, we're going to follow this south for 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes, and then we get this nice little cross section. Take these in any order you want. I'd probably recommend taking the endurance first, and then taking the 2 strength after. But at this point you would have filled out the whole skill tree here for the spear. Now with that done, we are going to continue power leveling, and we're going to come to the axe, as this has a lot of vitality and endurance. We're going to come up for Thunderous Cleave. Again, we don't need this, but what we do need is the strength here. We're going to come to Tide Turner, and then to the left for vitality +5. From here, back to Tide Turner, and then take the endurance +5. Again, more stamina is so key, especially late game. We're going to come along the path here to take Strike and Cleave, and we're going to pick up 2 endurance. We're going to pick up 1 strength, another endurance, and that is going to lead us into Chop and Weave. At this point I would take the strength +1 on the left, just so you don't forget about it. Back to Chop and Weave, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 endurances. Now here I would turn right, take the strength +1, take the strength +5, pick up another strength +1, and an endurance +1 to the south. At this point, come back over here. We're going to go strength +1, strength +1, strength +1 to the left, and south for an endurance +1. We're going to follow this around to the left again, so a strength and a strength, south to the vitality, and then south again for 2 to pick up 2 more vitality before we get to axe and hook. I would go south again for 1 vitality, another 1 strength, 1 vitality, and 1 vitality. Coming up here with your next level to pick up the strength +1. Back to axe and hook, I would come to the right to pick up the strength node, so you don't forget about it. And then we need to come north for 3 till we get to this vitality, and we could do this little cross section here. So to the left for +1 strength, +5 at the top, and a +1 here for 7 added strength, and then south for a vitality +1. And that is the whole build sorted. You'll see. I will hover over this for a second so you can see the pathing for the skill trees. Again, break this video down, you can do this in any order you need. Now these nodes here, you will have 3 extra, we have not gone over these. Very simply put, these are nodes I'm using for another build, which I will be going over in a later video. Again, we got the spear path here, which you can see fully laid out. Just make sure you are keeping on top of your stamina, but your strength and your health should be absolutely fine at this point. And then to the axe, you can see once again, lots of awesome abilities here. So how does this look in action? Well, let's go show you. So we're in a fight, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our temperance going. And you see we've lost a tiny bit of health, so let's start healing this up. And as you can see, we can go through the enemies like this. You'll see we gain so much temperance from doing our attacks. Well, not our temperance, sorry, Skyborn Might. As we chase this enemy around. Now luckily, a lot of the enemies do dodge a lot, so you do have to play very carefully. And having the temperance extended thanks to our skill tree is incredible. And you see we are just healing through most attacks. Especially if you do the whip attack. You'll see we have not gone under like 75% health yet. And the lashing whip is incredible for the range it has. As I pressed the wrong button there. But there you go. That is literally how easy it is to just constantly replenish your health with this build. So that is the build for Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I really hope this lifesteal build will help you. It works from pretty much the start of the game all the way to the end of the game, as you can see, and even well into New Game Plus. So if you've enjoyed, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you're changing, any new nodes, are you using a different weapon, all that fun stuff. If you're not ready, please subscribe to the channel for more. I've got more guides to other RPGs such as Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age, Elden Ring, Night Reign, Oblivion, Expedition 33, all the amazing RPGs you could ever need. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.